When should I take Social Security?
Social Security is complicated. Social Security has a lot of factors that come into play when you're trying to make this decision. It is a very important decision. And like we just said, you can't undo this decision. Technically, you can in the first year. If you're within 12 months of making your initial election, you can. But even that's complicated. You got to pay it all back and start over. And that's tough for a lot of people to do once they've received that money. What I would say is a couple of basic rules of thumb here. The earliest you can take it is 62. Unless it's a survivor benefit and you've lost a spouse to death, you can start at age 60. But for most of Americans, it's 62. And understand that if you go at 62, you're taking a reduced benefit of about 25% less than what you could get at full retirement age. And for most folks, that's around 67 nowadays. So if you go at 62, you're locked in at a 25% reduced benefit for the rest of your life. You're leaving 25% of that asset on the table as far as an income stream for the rest of your life. And also, you have to understand that if you are making that decision as the higher earner in the household, that you are also making that decision to take that reduced benefit for you and your spouse's lives. Because if two people are on Social Security and one of them passes away, the survivor gets the higher of the two. So if you are the higher of the two and you've locked in at 62 and taken that reduced benefit, then you have reduced that benefit in effect for you and your spouse. If you wait after that, it's going to be an increase of anywhere from about 6.5% to 8% per year through age 70. You have to claim it at age 70 if you haven't claimed it. There is no benefit to you whatsoever in waiting beyond that point. So at age 70 is the latest you can claim it. And that is where you max that benefit out. Now, the things that come into play here that you need to be thinking about are, not necessarily some break-even analysis of getting smaller checks for a longer period of time or bigger checks for a shorter period of time. And that's you can do that, and that's great to do. But things that you need to be thinking about are things like your health. If you are in poor health and you've got a poor health history, and the chances of you making it to full life expectancy are reduced because of that, then odds are you should take it as soon as you can, right? I mean, that's just common sense. So you have to be real about your health. You have to be honest with yourself about your health. A lot of people don't want to do that. And so if health is a factor and you've been battling, you've had cancer, you've had major heart condition, you've had all these things that can really impact your life expectancy, then you should take it sooner rather than later. For those people who have longevity in their families and who are living into their 90s, you'd probably do better to go ahead and lean on assets from whatever age you retire. Let's say you retire at 65. You probably would do better if you have the assets in place to go ahead and spend those assets between 65 and 70 and lock in at the highest payment that you can, because the money that you have invested isn't guaranteed to go up 8% a year plus cost of living adjustments. And that Social Security typically does that. And it has a 10-year history of going up over 3% a year just in cost of living adjustments on top of the 8% a year that you get between full retirement age and age 70. So all of these factors are things to think about. We can certainly help you with that. We can help you, guide you through this process, and we can run actual models and get really dialed in, because when we understand the big picture of all your assets that you have, all of your income sources, exactly what your expenses are, and we take into consideration inflation and what, the cost of living adjustments that have happened in Social Security, we can really start to dial that in and get really clear on what the most optimal strategy for you to declare and get your Social Security is.
Okay. Thank you, Stewart.